Hi Daddy, what's money?
I'm the first one to admit, I don't do this very well. I can talk to adults about money for hours, but put me in front of my kids, I feel like I'm constantly traumatizing them. When is a good age to start talking to kids about money? How much information is too much? Can I take back some of the things I said before? Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, a channel dedicated to creating personal finance content for the Sandwich generation. In this video, I want to share 7 tips on how we can talk to our kids about money. And as I admit, I'm not an expert on this in any way. I've blundered through many of these conversations with my 5 and 8-year-old like the most of you. So I brought expert help to guide our video today. Many of the tips we'll review today are taken from Beth Koblener's book, Make Your Kid a Money Genius. If you're ready to learn with me, let's get started. Tip number 1, start earlier than you think you should. According to researchers from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, kids 3 years and old can comprehend economic concepts such as value and exchange in a rudimentary way. They can learn to delay gratification and make their own choices. I'm sure many parents of 3-year-olds can attest to, kids at this age can understand a lot and sometimes more than we assume. This can be a great opportunity to start teaching them about the fundamentals of money. How to pay for things. What does it mean to buy things? What does it mean to save up for things? There's a famous experiment called the marshmallow test where young kids were given a marshmallow and told that if they waited to eat it, they'll get a second marshmallow. If you watch any of these videos on the experiment, it's so cute watching what some of these kids would do to distract themselves so that they can get that second marshmallow. Some can't help it and just eat the first marshmallow. Other kids amazingly hold out until they receive their well-earned prize. What's so interesting is that when these studies follow these kids later in life, the kids who waited longer did much better in life as adults. They had higher levels of education, higher earnings, and better relationships. The kids who waited longer were deemed to be more successful later in life. So even at 3 years old, we can start teaching our children about delaying instant gratification and the importance of saving their money for something bigger like a toy they wanted for a long time, or an experience rather than spending it on candy today. If you really want to mess around with your kids, you can even play the marshmallow game at home. Tip number 2, use stories. How eager were we to listen to our parents' lectures when we were kids? Probably not very much. So it's obvious that lecturing our kids about money can only go so far. Adults listen better when lessons are taught through stories, and kids are no exception. When it comes to a sensitive and complex topic like money, stories are the best method for talking to our kids about money. Instead of telling our kids that credit card debt is bad, let's tell them a story about a friend who couldn't purchase the car she wanted because she racked up too much credit card debt from shopping. They'll start asking questions. Why couldn't she buy the car? Why did she overspend on her credit card? And why are you so amazing, Dad? Stories can show how decisions lead to certain consequences without feeling like a lecture. Tip number 3, use numbers even if you are a math phobic. We remember examples over concepts, and the same is with our kids. You can tell your kids all day he needs to save for retirement, but as soon as he turns around, he'll likely forget it. But if you're to tell him specific numbers, for example, that if he started putting $300 a month into an investment account at the age of 18, by the time he turned 65, he would have $1 million. I'm pretty sure he'd remember that. To a kid, the word $1 million carries a lot of weight. He'll start asking, how is this possible? How can $300 turn into $1 million? And why are you so smart, Dad? This will be a great opportunity for you to pull out your handy-dandy calculator or go to any website with a compound interest calculator. Just Google compound interest calculator and you can find tons of free resources you can plug numbers into and see the output. This is a great way to get your child to start understand what investing is and how compound interest works. Tip number 4, don't lie about your money past, but don't overshare either. Many of us have money mistakes from some point in our lives. I have too many to count. We might think we should share all our money's mistakes with our kids because we don't want them to make the same mistakes that we made. However, resist the urge. Your kid isn't your financial advisor or your priest. There's actually a research on parents talking to kids about their drug use. This research revealed that children of parents who discuss the details of their drug use history are more likely to engage in those behaviors as well. Similarly, let's be careful about going into too many details about reckless past financial mistakes. We might have an example of when we liquidated all of our savings for a once-in-a-lifetime Europe trip. We regret it, and we don't want our kids to repeat the same mistake. But it could actually have the opposite effect of glamorizing such behavior. We've all done stupid things in life. I know, because I have way too many to count. But there is no need to share all of them with our kids. Tip number 5. Never lie about how much you have on you. I am the biggest offender when it comes to this. I don't know how many times my kids have asked me at Target,
Hey daddy, can you buy me this bag of gummy bears?
and I would answer, sorry kid, I don't have any money. But when it comes to the checkout, I would miraculously have money for my items. Instead of saying we don't have any money, it's better to be straight and honest with our kids. Kids are smart and won't just settle for we can't afford it or I don't have any money. I could have said, no, honey, I don't think we need to spend money on gummy bears right now. Remember the cavities you had last time we went to the dentist? It's harder and takes more effort because then I'll need to explain my rationale and deal with the follow-up questions. However, being transparent and direct with our kids lets them know that there are real reasons behind our decisions and we aren't just making them up because we're adults. Remember, kids are smart and at a certain point will get caught in our lies. Tip number 6. Keep money fights behind closed doors. Researchers discovered that students whose parents frequently fought about money when they were younger were actually 3 times more likely to have credit card debt of $500 or more than those whose parents kept their financial peace. You and your spouse are going to have money disagreements. My wife and I have it all the time. Try your best to have big money disagreements away from your children as possible. Find a private place and a time to discuss money decisions. If a decision involves a child, let him or her know that once mom and dad have discussed it, they'll let them know. You want to have a united front. You want to show your kids that you not only make big financial decisions together as mom and dad, but think through these decisions logically. Tip number 7. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses because you will teach your kids to do the same. We constantly compare ourselves to others. This is especially more so in today's consumer-centric, media-driven culture. Regardless, try not to compare your family's money choices with anyone else's. The ways that people choose to spend money are very personal. You might think that your decision to buy a used car was better than your neighbor's choice to buy a new vehicle. But you don't have all the details, and their reasoning might make sense in their own personal situation. We want to teach our kids to avoid the trap of keeping up or even looking down on their friends and neighbors. If we're constantly making comments about others' financial decisions and judging them, we are literally passing on those behaviors to our kids. Resist the temptation to make assumptions or draw conclusions about other families' spending habits or values. We wouldn't want someone to be doing that to us, so we should be careful about doing that to someone else. All right, there you have it, guys. 7 tips on how we can talk to our kids about money. Again, I'm not an expert on this in any way, and I'm learning alongside you as we blunder through life together. I highly recommend checking out Beth Kobliner book, Make Your Kid a Money Genius, to learn more from a real expert. Thank you guys for watching. If you found value from this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of my other upcoming videos. I firmly believe that being part of the Sanders generation doesn't have to mean financial stress. With careful planning and preparation, we can thrive during this stage of life. Help me spread knowledge. Thank you again, and I'll see you in my next video.